Good afternoon. We're here in Jerusalem at the Yeshiva Mekubalim Nahar Shalom, and it is a quiet afternoon, which is usually the case between the morning Seder and the afternoon Seder of learning. There's something beautiful about the religious or the yeshiva world. I'm not sure what label we give it, but the order, the structure of your day is around the Torah. It's around prayer. It's around, doing mitzvot. And so, all those times during your day you don't know what to do, well, here you always know what to do. So it makes life easier. Because most of the stress in life, remember this, is around making choices, decisions. And when we're already made our choice or decision, we enter a place of rest, intellectual rest, emotional rest. And so that helps us get through, the more difficult times of life. So we're here, and we have the Torah, new Torah from Pei Zion 87 in Likutei Moharan. Titen emet Yaakov chesed l'Avraham. Give truth to Jacob and kindness to Abraham. So of course we understand our basic idea that Jacob was a symbol of truth and Abraham was a symbol of kindness. And we understand that they were given those qualities by God, but we also understand that they earned them by doing acts of kindness and acts of truth. So what comes first? It says, Hashem noten chokhmah lachachamim. God gives wisdom to the wise. So the rabbis themselves, they're so great. They question everything. They say, wait a minute, God gives wisdom to the wise. Well, how do you get wise to get the wisdom? Right? I start out knowing nothing, and I want wisdom, but if he's only going to give wisdom to the wise, then how am I going to acquire wisdom? And that conundrum is solved, of course, by the answers. By doing acts of kindness, we receive kindness, and then we give more. By reading the books of wisdom, we start to receive wisdom, and then we get more. So it's oftentimes not the thing you learn in the book, it's the thing that comes after your learning in the book that will carry you to a new place of understanding, a new place of inspiration. So that's the headline for the Torah. We see immediately when a person decides to go in the straight path, judgment is aroused against him. Wait a minute, I thought I just chose the right path, and now there's judgment coming against me? And actually, this explanation is the opposite, meaning, there are two types of yir'ah, there are two types of awe. Okay, and there are also two types of judgment, or dinim as they're called in Hebrew. Judgments, in the popular vernacular, we could call them negativity, obstacles, tests, choices. Okay, so the first type of awe, though, is the awe that comes from fear of punishment. And the second type of awe, or fear, if you want to use that word, is God's greatness. So there's the awe that you get when you see a beautiful thing. You see a beautiful place in nature. That awe is a higher variety when you connect it to, wow, look what God made. This beautiful ocean, this beautiful valley, this beautiful person, a beautiful tree. It could be anything. And if you connect it to Hashem, then that becomes awe of his exaltedness, that he can create so much and such perfect balance with everything else. And the Yirat Onish, we all know that one. That's the fear of punishment that our parents tried to instill us in a long time ago. And they're still trying, I imagine. It depends on their development. But really, the fear of punishment is so ingrained in humanity that you'd think we'd have it automatically. But it's not really true. We can have fear of death. We can have fear of embarrassment. We can have fear of pain. We can have fear of the unknown. But unless I have a very strong faith in Hashem, why would I fear punishment? Well, then you could say, well, what about karma? You know, this Hindu concept. Mita keneged mita, measure for measure. You got it coming to you. What you give, what you sow, you will reap. And those are all true concepts. But when a person's in the grip of doing something against his goodwill, God's goodwill, against his good nature, against his ultimate place in this world, then he's not so free to choose unless he has this sense of, I don't want to be punished. Why am I doing this? I don't want to be punished. You know, the bank robber, he has his calculation. What's interesting, and they've done studies on this in criminology, that anybody who's about to do a crime thinks they're going to get away with it. They convince themselves they're going to get away with it. And it's like a grip on the mind. It's a momentary trance that they can get away with whatever crime they're attempting to do, because they think that they've done the job to get away with it. But it's really just their desire for the thing that they're after. Whether it's robbing a bank or some other lesser problematic behavior, shall we say. We don't think the punishment is so close. And that itself is the other side, closing off the light of our intellect. Because we know, truthfully, nothing goes unnoticed, because God is perfect. His memory is perfect. And he's not sitting around taking notes looking to hurt us. He's trying to guide us to get closer to him. And the only reason there's punishment is to get us back on the path. And the pain and the fear is only to guide us away from the thing that we're contemplating. Okay, so these two types of fear and punishment, they're going to tie back into these two types of judgment. And because a person has true faith in Hashem, that he is powerful, controls everything, runs the world, the root of all worlds, when you have those ideas in your heart and your mind, well then, then he fears God. And we also know, we can't come to that level of faith and believing in all those things unless we first have this sense of fear of punishment. Now, no one likes the idea of fear of punishment. It's kind of juvenile. It's kind of like kindergarten, right? If you do this, you're going to get that. Nobody likes to think that way or feel that way. It's certainly not in a relationship with an eternal, infinite being that's so difficult to comprehend, to imagine, and to serve, and to dedicate our lives to. God is asking for a lot from us because he knows we have a lot to give. And we have a lot to achieve in this world. But the idea of getting punishment because I did this, that's kind of juvenile. It doesn't feel like it's a particularly uplifting experience. But that's why we have the second type, which is Yirat Yomamut, the awe of his exaltedness, how far he really goes. How far is eternity? How deep is infinity? How amazing is this being that not only created the universe, he is the universe. And the sages say, you want a good metaphor? That the creation itself and the relationship to the creator is like a turtle in a shell. The turtle is born, tiny little creature in an egg, but when he's born, he starts to build his house around him. And so God is that spark that is at the root of all creation. And all of this that you know and see, whether it's from the deepest telescope or the deepest microscope, whatever you see, is God building the worlds around him. So it's the infinite turtle. What can I say? God bless you all. We're going to talk more about this, but it's important. It's really important to get these ideas down, because then we move forward. If I don't accept the idea of punishment, and I can give it a different name, I can call it consequences. I can call it results. I can call it fair judgment. But if I don't call it something, then I will have a problem accessing the next level and the next level, which are the real important ones, where you start to really feel the presence of something awesome in your life. And change becomes not only a desirable thing, it becomes imminent, pertinent, constant, that we're always looking to grow, because every step we take can bring us closer to the inside of the turtle. That's where all the real power and action is. God bless you all. We'll see you again.